Kyle Shanahan said that there's a chance Jimmy G ready for NFC title game or Super Bowl.
Great.
If you get there, do you play him?
No. Is he better than Josh Johnson as the backup if you need him?
He's probably as good as Brock Purdy.
Correct.
So why don't you go back to your starter?
Because it's all working. Hot hand. Don't change a thing. And if Purdy goes down, you got Jimmy G. Let's talk this. It's been a wild season. A wild,
like 70 quarterbacks
season.
This year.
A wild, unpredictable season that we know sitting here, any of the 14 that make it can win it. Obviously, some. Stop it.
12 can win.
Stop it.
I think, come on, maybe 11.
Stop it.
Miami can't win without Tua.
Well, which is how crazy would it be that Tua comes back and maybe goes on a run? I honestly, you can't predict anything.
That's true.
I can predict Dallas isn't winning the Super Bowl.
Stop. It's an unpredictable league. Again, the guy 2 seats to my left is a perfect example of that. Every single Sunday, that's Kurt Warner.
Oh.
All right. So,
but
just think about this. Think about this. The San Francisco 49ers, everybody knew Jimmy G was done. He said goodbye after the NFC Championship game loss just up the road here in SoFi.
Yeah.
He said goodbye. And then got shoulder surgery. And then the team confirms it's Trey Lance's gig. They give it to him. It's his job. And because Garoppolo gets shoulder surgery, he can't be traded. So he's still around by the time training camp hits. In between the time Lance gets the job and training camp hits, they go ahead and just use, who knows, why not, the last pick in the draft on a kid named Brock Purdy, who we hardly talked about at the Combine, to the point where Daniel Jeremiah, when I asked him, what was your evaluation of him? He had to say, I got to check my notes. And I'm like, he was at the Combine, right? And he goes, again, I got to check my notes. That guy gets drafted. And Garoppolo is still around in training camp to the point where the coach says, hey, we have him listed on the depth chart just because we have to. He doesn't have a playbook. Admittedly, we're trying to get him out of here into a place that he's happy, and it's Trey Lance's job. Everybody back off. It's Lance's job. And then by the end of training camp, they're like, we still have Jimmy G here. He hasn't gone anywhere yet. Maybe we could see if he sticks around, because we can't go into the season with Trey Lance in his first full year as a starter with the kid we drafted last in the draft as the backup. Can we? Of course not. Let's see if Jimmy will stay. We could strike a deal with him. Jimmy does, in fact, say, I'm interested. They strike a deal. He stays. And look who's in the game in week 2 for the 49ers, because Lance goes off on a cart. It's Jimmy G, who not only comes in and performs well, although loses to Russell Wilson and the Broncos on a Sunday night, one of those games that you look back on and go, really? Yes, that happened. And not only does he play well, he's got them on a Super Bowl track.
Yeah.
And then he gets carted off, and in comes Brock Purdy, who, yes, my son was first on it when he started winning a couple games in a row as starter. Coop says to me, as the lights are off and we're just chit-chatting before he drifts off going to sleep, Dad, can he win Offensive Rookie of the Year? Possibly. Who else could it be? Because Purdy is not only winning, he's playing really, really well. He's distributing. He's not making mistakes. He's finding Kittle in a way that even Jimmy G was not. So, yeah, Purdy is, in fact, taking this team to the playoffs, and he is going to command this ship. And if Jimmy G does return, he is a much better option as the backup than Josh Johnson. And that's the same Mad Lib that we used in training camp. It's just Purdy is the proper name instead of Trey Lance. And Jimmy G is the proper name instead of Brock Purdy. Where, yeah, Jimmy G's the backup, because we can't go into the playoffs with Josh Johnson backing up Purdy, can we, if Jimmy G's still there? Wild. Can't make it up And I believe the Niners are the proverbial team you don't want to face in the playoffs for a second year in a row. And we saw they damn near took that moniker and mantle to the Super Bowl last year. And very well could this year. So that's my answer to your question. If Jimmy G's available, absolutely suit him up. Put him in that room. Get him ready to go. Put the earbud in his ear and say, Jimmy, thanks for being here. This was your original role anyway. It's just not Trey Lance. It's Brock Purdy. And what the Niners do at quarterback for 2023, we can table that for the moment, but that's going to be a dynamite conversation because Tom Brady could be in that mix too. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
But who has Brock Purdy beat? I mean,
okay, we could do that. We could do that. We could do that. We could play that game. Absolutely, we could play that game.
You can.
And the answer to the question is, who is Brock Purdy beaten? Everybody. Team that's been placed in front of him. And the fact that we can say he's beaten every team and not, well, he did this, he was up and he was down, and this is a question mark. 0 question marks other than what will he do when the playoff pressure hits. We don't have an answer to that, but the track record shows they are good in that hood. Oh, yes. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.